Hi, I'm Dr. Sara Gottfried. I'm an integrative gynecologist in Berkeley, California. I have, in the past 10 years, taken care of 10,000 women. I'm here with Nicole Dedone. Hello, Nicole.
Hi, and I have One Taste Urban Retreat Center, and we're dedicated to the art and craft of the female orgasm. And we've had over 4,000 people come through our doors, and more often than not, it's a woman who has this sense that there's something more available. There's a hunger inside of her that she wants to feed, and Om happens to be the answer.
I'm the author of a forthcoming book called The Hormone Cure, and I am so fascinated by what orgasmic meditation does for women, how it balances your hormones, how it changes your life.
And I feel like when we met, we both had this experience of seeing orgasm as this profound way that a woman can maybe heal a lot of these ailments that she feels naturally, but we come at it from two totally different worlds.
Two different worlds that harmonize unbelievably. They work together beautifully, the science and the art of orgasm.
Right.
So we're going to talk first about stress. One of the issues that I see commonly in my practice is women who come in with stress. Right. They are struggling with many different things, maybe with their work life, being in a job that they don't love, struggling in their marriages,
right,
struggling with their kids,
right,
trying to figure out how to do it all. They have what you call a mantra. Can you give us your mantra?
They chant the Western woman's mantra, and that's, I eat too much, I diet too much, I drink too much wine, I buy too many shoes, I give too much, and for some reason I still cannot seem to ever touch this hunger.
Absolutely. So I look at it from this medical perspective. I'm a board-certified gynecologist. I'm also a yoga teacher, and I have to say the ancient wisdom comes in as well. But the way that I approach it first, which often is a way in with a woman, is to look at her hormonal issues. So when it comes to stress, the number one issue is cortisol. Cortisol is the main hormone of stress. It's released by your adrenal glands in your back. They're above your kidneys. They sit on top of your kidneys like little hats, and they pump out cortisol. Some of us have a normal amount of cortisol. We don't make too much. Others, in a stressful situation or when chronically stressed, will make a lot of cortisol. And the way that that shows up in the body is that they feel tired but wired. They
right,
feel really
right,
revved up, more revved up than they want to be.
Right.
And maybe their stress resilience is starting to slip.
Right.
They're not able to roll with the punches the way that they used to be able
They're
to.
like a wind-up toy that's too wound up. And they come into my office in the same way, and it's like they're going and they're talking and they're going and they're talking. They're telling me how desperately they want to relax, but they can't actually sit and sink into the experience. And I look at it in terms of anecdotal experience and in terms of the practice, and it's so beautiful where our work meets, because we call it tumescence, and that is the experience of a lot of sexual energy that is building and building and building and not being released. So this feeling that you're walking around like the Michelin Man and you're so full, and that pressure, I think that is a key factor that women come to me with, is this sense of pressure, and no matter what they do, they've been told that they can relieve it by giving more to their family. They've been told if they succeed more, they'll relieve that pressure. But it doesn't go down. It doesn't go down until, in my experience, they actually begin to work with their orgasm and release it from a deep place.
And there's data to prove that, right? So I have ways that I work with cortisol. You can use other interventions besides Om. We're going to get back to Om. You can go to yoga class. That's a solution that a lot of my patients come up with, or they start to meditate. You can take a botanical therapy, right? You can see a physician who gives you ashwagandha. For that matter, you could go to Whole Foods and get yourself some ashwagandha and adjust your cortisol levels that way. there's many different ways to adjust your cortisol level, but what I'm interested in is what can you do that has the least harm, the least side effect, that gets you to that place of feeding that hunger.
And the most benefit.
And the most benefit, right? I mean, solve the problem, right? I want the most effective and a proven treatment.
Right.
So what happens when women OM, when they regularly practice orgasmic meditation, is they are in a state flush with oxytocin. Oxytocin's been proven to do several things. It lowers your cortisol. So women who have a lot of cortisol, they've got a muffin top and they're feeling so stressed, we know that regular orgasm will lower your cortisol. Right. That's a beautiful intervention. It raises your estrogen levels. It helps your thyroid get more efficient. But it's the most important piece, I think, is how it feels in the body, how your body changes.
Right. And I think this is where there's this key distinction climax and orgasm, because I think that climax as we know it will take off that top layer of stress. But it's not really until you get into a deeper practice where you can actually sink into the body more that you feel that release from deep inside, like deep in your bones. It begins to relax rather than that pressure and tension.
I agree with that. The one other thing I would say about that is, as a yoga teacher, there's this idea of the subtle energetic body. And when you release that deeply, when you're not just doing the surface, you open up the pelvis, you open up the genitalia in a very deep way.
Right.
So anything else you want to say about stress?
I think that's it. That's great.
Thank you.